League of Legends Worlds is the biggest event of the year for all the pros in the game. It hosts the top teams from various regions who qualify into the tournament. Teams like T1, G2, BLG all compete for glory throughout the season to qualify for the biggest event. League of Legends Worlds tournaments have always been a spectacle, with all the different upsets, the making of some of the best players in the history of esports, and the fabulous gameplay all contribute to the fact that it is one of the best esports to watch, and the numbers shows exactly that. So let's see what this year's Worlds have got in store for us. This year, just like last year, started off with the play-in stage. Let's break down how this works. There are various regions in League, the major regions and the minor regions. Unfortunately for the minor regions, they are only invited to the play-in stage and have to compete for a spot in the Swiss stage. But the top teams from the major regions get a direct invite to the Swiss stage. 4 teams get their invites from LCK and LPL, the regions from Korea and China respectively, and 3 teams get their invite from LEC and LCS, the regions from EMEA and North America. The teams in the play-ins for 2024 were Mad Lions Koi, 100 Thieves, PSG Talon, SoftBank Hawks Gaming, GAM Esports, Viking Esports, Pain Gaming, and Movistar R7. All these teams competed for 4 spots to the Swiss stage. MDK faced off against Vikings, PSG faced off against PNG, GAM faced off against SHG, and 100 Thieves faced off against R7. This stage worked like a double elimination bracket where the teams that lost in the first round gets a second chance and plays with a team that also lost. So Vikings played against PNG and 100 Thieves played against SHG. The winners of round 1 played against the other remaining winners. MDK faced against PSG and GAM played against R7. The winners of this round qualified for the Swiss stage, which means MDK and GAM were through to the next stage. For the teams that lost in the round 2 of winners bracket played with the team that won round 2 in the lower bracket. PNG faced R7 and 100 Thieves played PSG. Unfortunately, 100 Thieves and R7 were both knocked out of the tournament. The stage was set for the main event. Now all the top teams were on the same playing field. T1, Gen.G, Top Esports, BLG, G2 and all the other teams were playing to get 3 wins to qualify for quarterfinals. All the teams needed 3 wins before they get 3 losses. If any team gets 3 losses, they are eliminated. The way the Swiss stage works in League of Legends was something that got many people riled up. Some say that this was boring as many of the best teams didn't even face each other, and some of the top teams played against very low rated teams and got their 3 wins easily to qualify for their next round, whereas some of the favorite teams got opponents that fit the semifinals and the finals. But what's done is done. The way it works is there are pools for every round. The teams that got first place in their regions are set in Pool 1. Pool 2 contains the ones that got second place in the region, Pool 3 contains the third place teams, and Pool 4 contains the play-in teams. Pool 1 draws a random opponent from Pool 4 and Pool 2 draws a random opponent from Pool 3. Very simple. Just to not make the video too boring, I will not go through all the matches, but some of the matches were really great to watch, like T1 faced against Top Esports. It was a great match. Fnatic and DK was a good one too. Unfortunately, all the matches except for the ones that were elimination or qualification were best of 1. These were the final results after day 1. There are now 2 pools. The team that won their games, that is, they went 1-0, were put in the first pool, and the teams that lost, that is, they went 0-1, in the second pool. The teams in their respective pools can only draw teams from their own pools. So T1 who lost their match cannot draw Gen.G or BLG who both won their first match. and so began the draw for his second round. BLG somehow lost their match, and Gen.G were cruising along the Swiss stage. Meanwhile, Team Liquid were struggling to survive as they were on the verge of elimination with already losing 2 matches. T1 finally got their first win in Worlds 2024 alongside G2 and Fnatic.
T1 fate sealed onto Carrier Crew as well. Carrier flashing forward with a hostile takeover. Matched by the equalizer. Jinkeido's TPing in, but I'm pretty sure he wants to run away from this fight. It's 2 already to T1, making 3 as wide as it falls.
Except for BLG, everything seemed to go as it would on paper, but that would all change on round 3. But before we get into that, here were the results of round 2. Round 3 draw begins. There are now 3 pools, teams having 2-0 records with no losses, teams having 1-1 record, and finally teams with 0-2 records with no wins. This round would have a mix of both best of 3s and best of 1s. The teams that had 2-0 record were on the verge of qualification, and the teams on the verge of elimination, the 0-2 teams played their best of 3s, and the teams with 1-1 record played best of 1s. We had one of the best lineups with T1 facing the favorites BLG. The match was not as great, with T1 punishing almost every mistake that BLG made, somehow managing to almost lose the game at the end and finally bringing it home after a good battle.
Knockback from Arnold will be big, trying to zone out, gets the jungler out of the picture, they instantly get the objective, can't make the fight. Faker now locked up, he's not even going to have the chance to use the Poppy ult that he so graciously stole. Finally we'll get it back, trying to burn it through, at least on carry off on the side, a massive ulti, but now Elk is ready to open up, the curtain's called, 1 shot, 2. Health bar's too high for him to do anything yet. They have to retreat, they have to get out. The lock up on the carrier is good. They're trying to take down Guma. Guma locked up for a brief moment, but Zeus is there to body block out. Just fast enough to get away, but there's too much CC.
BLG were 1 and 2 down, facing elimination. The favorites for winning the tournament were just 1 loss away from going home. G2 and Team Liquid also won their respective matches. For the best of 3s, Gen.G and LNG were the first teams to qualify for quarterfinals. Here were the rest of the results from that group. Just 2 more rounds to go. 6 teams needed 1 more win to qualify, and 6 teams needed just 1 loss to get eliminated. It was beginning to get intense. Everyone was hoping not to draw BLG. They were in the group which could not afford a loss, and drawing BLG would most likely guarantee that. So all eyes were on the draw. 2 pools were made, one with a record of 2-1 and the other with a record of 1-2. Round 4 starts with a bang. G2 facing off against T1. Some said it's the match of the century. That might have been exaggerated, but still it was one of my favorite matches.
Wide. Zeus almost falls to the well, and he still has the locket. Baker dodges away from the hook. Zeus going back in, and there's your contribution. Mickey falls, the shot bait from Cats. All it can do is buy him a second to wait. The flash charm from Baker. It's all done, it's all over. But the Nexus falling, T1 are gonna go 1-0 up.
Both teams did great, but the macros of T1 proved to be too good for G2. They were caught slacking all over the map, and T1 punished almost every single one of them. But it wouldn't have been a T1 match if they didn't make it a nail-biter, as they almost lost a full team fight against G2, which could have lost them the game. But they recovered, and Zeus played out of his mind for both of the games. T1 won 2-0 and advances to the quarterfinals. As for BLG, well, they faced one of the easier opponents, I would say, with PSG. They also won 2-0 against them, but still they needed 1 more win to qualify. Team Liquid won their second consecutive match as well, but Fnatic lost their final match and we said goodbye. The results of the matches were like this. The final round, which would decide which teams will be facing each other and which teams would be eliminated. And would you look at that, BLG facing against G2. BLG, the favorites mind you, to win the whole tournament, and G2, the #1 seed from Europe. And we have to say goodbye to one of these teams. Can G2 finally secure the last win they needed? Or will BLG come back from 0-2 to qualify with 3-2? Let's find out. Round 5 starts with DK facing Weibo Gaming. We haven't talked about these teams because DK had some relatively easy opponents to win their 2 games, and so did Weibo. Well, Weibo did defeat Team Liquid, so that's a plus. The first match was great. Both teams looked amazing, but small mistakes from Weibo cost them the first match. But Weibo showed their true power in the next 2 matches. They were not that close. Weibo advances to the quarterfinals. The next one I want to talk about is the North American matchup with Team Liquid facing FlyQuest. This match was close. Both teams knew each other very well, but FlyQuest got the better of them and we said goodbye to Team Liquid. Now the final series, G2 versus BLG. BLG with all the momentum, winning both of their last 2 games, and G2 losing both of theirs. BLG wins the first match pretty convincingly.
To shut down the combo of G2.
But in the second match, G2 pulled out something no one was expecting. 2 legends which no one even thought they would pick. They brought out Silas and Yasuo.
There was, Caitlyn Lux, there's a lot of these ranged options. Is now Yasuo is getting locked in.
Okay.
Silas is getting locked in.
Okay.
And I will say, no matter what happens in this game, as an EU pundit that has watched this team all year, I'm glad they're going out crazy.
I saw some of the BLG players laughing during the draft, but that would turn out to be very costly. The new combo wrecked everything. Yasuo killed everyone. Even with very low HP, it fends off against 2 players. The Ezreal kept on poking them from far until it completed its items, after which it destroyed the enemy. The combo proved to be too powerful and G2 took match 2. This is it, the final match, the decider, and G2 picks Taric and Ryze.
But for anyone that's been a long-time Caps follower, Ryze is an old-school side lane comfort pick for him. Something that he uses to get that mid-prio and then roam to those sides. Quick utilization of the ultimate. G2 domestically were big fans of using the Ryze ultimate tempo plays as well to stack waves, get them to towers quicker. Split pushing is so powerful with Ryze.
I was shocked to see those legends in pro play, but they cooked with it. They were killing all of BLG. They were frying them. It was unlosable for G2. GG, go next. Or was it? They had a team fight which G2 won, by the way, but they didn't kill every player.
Caps crucially, TT response now coming in from BLG as they try to split the fight. Oh, trying to turn the fight back. The equalizer is beautiful, the cosmic radiance. Will it come in time? The answer is yes. Mickey buying 2.5 seconds for the team to try and turn this one back. Hot Samba and the Caps untouched to the back line, a perfect dazzle to get things kicked off. All they can make from Hot Samba as well, but BLG steal one back. Ben, can he burn them all? The answer is no. G2 finding the angles, out runs for his life. The Ezreal can't make the difference, he's still standing. Yike finding the 1v1 versus Shoni should come out on top. Double Blast gonna makes it a little bit trickier. Will finish the job, he will get the jungler down, but Elk can they afford to approach the last man standing on the side of BLG. G2 winning the fight, they'll take the Drake. As Elk is shepherded back into G2 territory. How can he escape? He got to follow the shutdown there for G2.
G2 thought of taking the Baron, but that proved to be their downfall. The damage was not enough to kill the Baron quickly, and the team of BLG came back to life. The squad of BLG with their full health fought against the squad of G2, bruised and battered. BLG won the team fight, and that led to G2 losing few of the objectives and the towers.
Ezreal on the way. G2 can't afford to extend the fight, but Broken Blade wants a little bit more. Will it cost him the dominance? The healing coming in for Knight. Elk here to save the day. Caps running. BLG blinking out bars. Can they start the Baron? The answer is yes.
G2 tried to force a Baron. They tried to do it when Jun was dead.
But it had more of a mental effect, it seemed like, to the players as they were getting caught all over the map. They were having 1v3, 1v2 fights and losing every single one of them. And then with the final team fight, BLG secured the victory and advances to the quarterfinals. It was such a heartbreaking loss for G2 that even I couldn't believe it. It was such a great match and it all came down to the one Baron fight. With that, all the EU teams were out of contention for the trophy. And now, here we are. The quarterfinals starts today and it should be a great one. The draw looks good. T1 faces Top Esports. A rematch from round 1 where Top Esports defeated T1 in a best of 1 match. HLE faces BLG. Scary for HLE of course. LNG faces Weibo Gaming. That should be an even matchup. And finally, Genji faces FlyQuest. As I said, I am rooting for T1 to win back-to-back. But with Genji in their best form, BLG regaining their confidence and starting to play well, and Top Esports, who showed great promise during their first match against T1, it would be hard for them. It should be a good tournament. The matches will be best of 5, so every team would get a good chance to feel out their opponent and strategize accordingly. That's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button for more interesting videos. Also, YouTube recommends watching this video next, so I guess you can watch that one as well. See you in the next one.